Okay, I've already done this post once or twice and decided to redo it. Okay, genes are the information that is potentially to be transmitted in a certain length of DNA. DNA stands for deoxyribonucleic acid. The name defines what it is. Deoxyribose is a 5-carbon sugar. The nucleic is from a nucleotide, the nitrogen base, the adenine, the thymine, the cytosine, or the guanine, the ATGC that is so ubiquitous, so well known in DNA coding. And I drew some pictures around here somewhere, but they may just not be important. They probably aren't. Okay, well, yeah, I drew them, so I'll show. This is the central dogma. This is what I mentioned at first. Replication, transcription, translation. That's the process of DNA being split by helicase at a point on an RNA primer called the DNA polymerase 3 that takes half of the DNA. So you've got DNA just moving along, and then it splits, see, like this, and you get 2 double helices, where you had just one before. This occurs during mitosis. Mitosis is what we're talking about. DNA replication also happens during meiosis. Meiosis is the process of the sperm and the egg combining. The processes are different, they have different results. Mitosis expects to be a perfect replication of the DNA that it started with. So, you know, your skin's making new skin cells. It's not identical. Obviously, there's imperfections, there's environmental factors, but it's making the same thing over and over again, whereas meiosis cuts the genes in half. You get half of the genetic information from one entity, half genetic information from the other, and they combine somehow. The important thing, I guess, the reason I went ahead and just decided to do another video, I want the central dogma, the direction that information travels, that to be clear, because that gets violated when the retroviruses come into play. And I've done a video on that, and I might do another one just for the sake of doing another video. But information is transferred one direction. It doesn't move back from a protein to DNA, except for in the retroviruses. What DNA does, what it communicates, is what kind of proteins to build. The deciding of what kind of proteins to build, what kind of amino acids of the 20, is what decides what kind of cell that cell is going to be and where it's going to go. Differentiation and migration. So you start off with cells that can be anything, the stem cells, embryonic stem cells, then you can have other stem cells, nervous system stem cells that can be every different kind of neuron, through graduated levels of differentiation, specialization, until they become a ganglion neuron. The common neuron is shaped more or less like this. This is going to be very crude. Very, very crude. So here's your neuron. Right here you would have the synapse, then you have the axon, and then the dendrites. That is a neuron, and that's really what I was heading at. We're going to be talking about a neural network. I'll do nervous system next. So DNA, information traveling one direction. The DNA tells the body, tells the cells what kinds of proteins to build. Those kinds of proteins determine what kind of cell it's going to be and where that cell is going to go. Therefore, how it's going to function and contribute to the function of the entire body. Much better, much shorter.